Where? Do I not? I had 2 copies of it. Where's... You're up there, you're up there. Ah, there you are. Do you ever, like, wonder, like, where have your books gone for some reason? Especially when it's a cover like this. Good evening, coffee supporters. Thank you very much. We're going to cover White Teeth by Zadie Smith. I put a poll up in the Book a Boy Discord asking what book you would like me to do as a coffee review. And Zadie Smith, I mean, it wasn't really a race, was it? Zadie Smith pretty much shanked everyone else in the knees and just had a stroll. It was an absolute feat of winning. Stormed the lot of it, and it gives me another time to put off reviewing The Rehearsal by Eleanor Catton. Zadie Smith. Let me talk about my experience with Zadie Smith books. I've heard she is incredible. I heard she's one of the greatest British writers, of our current time. But White Teeth has always stood the testament of this is the greatest book. Previously, I had read Grand Union and North South, and some of you, if you've known me for quite some time, might realise why I didn't particularly enjoy them. But apart from that, I just didn't get into her style. I didn't really understand what was so great, what was new, what was original, what people could see within her works. Yet everyone on the internet and every article that I could read about Zadie Smith always goes back to the debut, White Teeth, which absolutely stormed the market when it came out in the early 2000s. Absolutely anyone who reads knows of White Teeth. They've heard the name and they know, they should know it really for this horrendous cover. This is part of the Penguin Inc. Series, so remember that they specially commissioned this. And I have to say, this maximalistic novel is an absolute delight to read, as we start off where the end of the world is taking place in 1975 and we move our way up to the new millennium. I bet you read this with Renee, and we chose it on an absolute whim. We both looked at each other's bookshelves. We were like, look, it's big, let's see if we can work our way through it over in a month. And for a book that is coming up to 500 pages, me and Renee blasted this in 2 weeks. This book doesn't stop. It is lyrical. It is just like butter being spread. It knows where it wants to go. It knows exactly what it's trying to do, as you just get this idea of the multicultural aspect of London and the towering nature and the claustrophobia and everyone trying to fit into a place that they all call home. But before we don't talk about that, because you can't cover everything that is going on within White Teeth, one of the best openings, Archie, who is a man, he's hit his midlife crisis, he wants to kill himself, and so outside of a halal butcher, he gets such a stupid scene. He gets the nozzle of a Hoover and he puts it in his mouth, trying to gas himself, so he completely ends it all. So the end of his world is over. He is rudely interrupted by the halal butcher saying he doesn't have a permit to kill himself there, and it's not halal in the first place, so he has to move on. Archie is deflated, but it's the new year, so he goes to a party. At this point, we shift time. Clara is a Jehovah's Witness, and on the turn-in of 1975, the Jehovah's Witnesses believe that the world is going to end. Clara, whose mum is absolutely devout, starts to believe maybe this isn't true. Maybe this isn't going to happen. She has a boyfriend who, in order to keep him safe from her mum, says that actually, yes, he is Jehovah's Witness while they're doing all the scoodly pooping and shenanigans. What Clara doesn't expect is that her boyfriend actually becomes a Jehovah's Witness and believes in all of this. The reason for that chase is an incident that happens on a motorcycle, which ultimately leaves Clara missing her 2 front teeth. Clara and Archie are to meet up and eventually become married. We know that from the beginning. It's not a major spoiler. But let's talk about the teeth here. And most notably, what Zadie Smith is doing with white teeth. White teeth are healthy. They're what you should have. When you smile, you can tell a lot of people by the state of their teeth. But Zadie isn't completely focused on the whiteness of teeth, more so about the root canal, the nerve structures, and this forms a very meta narrative structure as we move into the history of these people. Archie is an Englishman through and through. Clara is Jamaican. Now, Archie, when he was in this novel, jumps about a lot, and this review is going to jump around a lot, so get used to it. Archie fought in the war, and his brother-in-arms is Samad, who is Pakistani. Now, Samad is equally a middle-aged man. He doesn't really know what he's doing with his life. He doesn't really know what to do, but he wants to live in London. He sees England as his home. Despite his qualifications, despite his status back in Pakistan, he could only get a job working in the local Indian restaurant. Throughout the first two parts, we kind of understand who these characters are, and really it sets up their parenthood, with Clara and Archie having a child of their own, and Samad having two boys, two twins, and Samad being what's the word? Maybe disillusioned. Samad is looking around him, and being a Muslim, doesn't feel as though London reflects his Islamic beliefs. He doesn't feel as though this is the best place to bring up two young Muslims. This might have to do with the fact that Samad ends up sleeping with their primary school teacher after winning a debate on the harvest. That could be, that's really the catalyst for it all. But let's just rationalise it as, is this the best place to live an Islamic way of life? He sends one of his sons back to Pakistan in order to live a true Islamic life, where his son in England, he just has to accept that maybe he's going to become atheistic. Just to let you know, Samad's plan doesn't quite go to plan. And it's so simple. Smith isn't there playing these big plot twists. It just doesn't go to plan in the best way possible. Samad has to sit there and understand why that hasn't happened. Like, this book is actually funny. It's wry, it's deadpan, it's ridiculous when it suits, such as the Islamic extremist group in London is called Kevin. If I remember correctly, Kevin stands for like the Keepers of the Eternal Victory of the Islamic Nation. It's called Kevin. It's named after a white man. Kevin get embroiled over a mouse. They get involved over a mouse. I vaguely remember this growing up, and some of you might know it, but I must have been really young, but they grew a year on top. That's a year for anyone. The amount of English people who go, oh, you can't say a year. But they grow a year on. Do you know, I even sound stupid in my own accent. This is ridiculous. They grow this on a mouse, and there was a conversation about, like, have humans taken the role of God? And Kevin, being Islamic extremists, don't particularly like this and they want to get the mouse. But equally, there's like this amateur version of Extinction Rebellion. It's just like 5 vegans who don't particularly like that the mouse is being used for experimental reasons. Now, this is all unbeknownst to a Jewish man who has been leading the Wonder Mouse project. Smith plays with the notion of this drama by actually turning it into a kitchen sink drama, as someone from Archie and Samad's timelines are embroiled in each one of these groups. So they are all aware of each other, and they're all friends. Maybe they're not. Archie and Clara's daughter, Irie, when she decides to sleep with the second son in order to make him first in something, was that muddied the waters, didn't it? That was how is a scene? The problem with maximalistic novels is that you really, like, this is just like scraping the surface of what is going on. But I really don't feel Smith falters throughout any of these pages. Me and Renee we're just in awe of how Smith kept this up consistently. Smith really has a control of the push and pull of this novel. If it needs to move into the ridiculous and the absurd, allow it, but it can equally rein it wholly into a very gentle, quiet scene where nothing much needs to occur, just the dialogue in and of itself. But the dialogue is so strong that it just stands amongst all the chaos, all the drama, all the history, all the characters that are interspersed throughout White Teeth. But sadly, I don't think I will enjoy another Zadie Smith book. I think this is her pinnacle, and after reading everything that I can with people going, this is her best, I generally can't see her ever topping it. This is incredible from start to finish. They are, what, 9 out of 10, absolutely easy. Just like hit, not the bullseye, but like the 25. Sitting like, it's just a bit off. Even though bullseye's never it's not the top scoring. I don't really understand why no one's ever explained that to me, like, because triple 20 is the best, but bullseye's, everyone's impressed by a bullseye. I mean, 25 isn't that great. Maybe like double, maybe this is like a double 20. Well, I don't know, it's good, right? I can just deal with it.